Akwa is my name.
And of course, my name is. A lot of stories around people slumming, passing out, and everything. Sometimes, even as humans, you need to take time to check yourself, unwind, and relax before blood pressure, will escalate beyond what it is. This is Business Today, and of course, we'll be checking out some of the business news making the rounds today. And as always, we'll be talking about this report. And one of the business stories that is standing out for today, is the news where, quite shocking, where it has been said that some Nigerians at the moment, earn about 420 naira. We'll be giving you the details of that. And also we'll be talking about the federal government might be resorting to food importation to curb the hardship Nigerians are currently going through. And also talking about business for today, it seems like there's no respite for the naira as exchange rate closes at 1,479 naira to the dollar at the official markets. And also we'll be talking about Total Energies that is set to sell its Nigerian onshore oil business after Shell have also exited at the moment. So this is also part of the headline we'll be talking about this morning right here.
All right, let's check out the business quote of the day.
Here is our business quote for the day.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. This is according to Walt Disney, entrepreneur, animator, voice actor, and film producer. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Nigerians, we love to talk. We talk a lot about a lot of things. So this is a call as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, whoever you are, just quit talking and start doing something. It doesn't matter how confused you might be at the beginning, but start doing something. Don't just leave it. Don't let it end in talk. We hold an award for talking, but we do not hold awards for doing. So let's start doing and stop talking.
Okay, after saying that, let's move on to the story for today. And of course, one of the business stories, that sent some kind of cold shiver down my spine is the report that I saw earlier this morning that says some retirees receive as low as 450 naira as monthly pension. And this statement is from the Nigerian Union of Pensioners. In certain states of the Federation, retirees are receiving remarkably low monthly pension payments, some as little as 450 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira, as highlighted by the Nigerian Union of Pensioners. This was disclosed by Mr. Godwin Abumishi, the national president of NUP, during a press briefing in Abuja just yesterday, as he discussed the significant hardships experienced by many of its members due to economic downturn. And looking at some of the statements he has actually said, it's really pathetic to see Nigerian pensioners earning as little as 450 naira per month. And also he gave further details based on the monthly pension amount received by retirees in specific states. And in Borno State, according to the NUP, some retirees earn 4,000 naira per month. In Gombe, 8,000 naira per month. In Jigawa, 12,000 naira per month. Katsina, 7,000. In Kogi, 5,000 naira. In Kwara, 3,000. And then in Niger State, 4,000. As well as Taraba State, where the pensioners earn as little as 5,000 naira. So looking at these figures, Gessi, someone earning 450,000 naira after dedicating their life to serving their fatherland. It is really shocking when I saw that report.
I mean, we're due for an increase at this point. We're due for, a review of the minimum wage. I mean, we talk about the fact that politicians are never, ever, you can never hear of them complaining that, our salaries were not paid this month, or some of the remunerations aren't coming to us this month, or our ESTA code, we didn't make it to us. We don't hear the politicians complain about things like that. But when it comes to the masses, the poor, well-meaning, well-deserved masses who actually go out of their way to do their jobs, you hear situations like you're earning 450 naira when you're the one doing the most work and the politicians are just there looking and sitting down. Some of them, they sleep during the National Assembly, during plenary, they're sleeping. Some of them, they don't even attend. Yes, they get their sitting allowances and every other allowance that follows it. So you begin to wonder, what exactly is the state of the economy in Nigeria? I saw a quote by Peter Obi. I was trying to find it exactly so I could reference it verbatim. But the whole point of what he was trying to say is a country where the politicians, the leaders, earn way more or are doing better than the entrepreneurs, then the economy of that country is definitely bound to be shaky. That is a call to action for our politicians to do more. I mean, look at our quote for the day. Do more and quit talking. You talk about doing. You talk about doing. You talk about helping Nigerians. You talk about it a lot, but you do not go ahead to do. So let's see more of that happen, especially with our minimum wage.
Commiserate action to the talk, basically. Guess before we move on to the next headline, I saw the states that are paying, pensioners as little as 450 naira, and I'm shocked as why this particular state will do this. Enugu State, according to the chairman of NUP, is the state paying 450 naira to its pensioners, and other states paying very lowly. They are all southeastern states. Is that not pathetic?
Southeastern states, Simeon. I don't know. Let's just move on to the next headline, because it gets more disheartening the more you read about it. You begin to wonder, the states themselves, do they not generate revenue? Isn't there a situation where we have states bringing into the FAC instead of collecting from it? Shouldn't we have situations where states have the autonomy, states have the ability to generate revenue and then bring to the federal allocation account? Why can't we have situations like that? Why do we have to employ this feeding bottle mentality where the states keep taking and taking and taking, and the governors themselves do not even allow these small monies, as small as they are, the 450, the 5,000, the 50 naira, all that, they don't even let it trickle down to the people who need it the most? Why won't crime rates rise? Why won't we have situations like this? Well, at this point, we're hoping that things get better in our country.
Okay, moving on, to more business stories. Let's talk about, the food importation that the federal government is currently looking into, especially if all plans to, buffer the food inflation in the country fails. And according to the report, it says federal government may resort to food importation to curb hardship. And this is according to Mohammed Idris, who is the Minister of Information. According to him, he said, the government may resort to food importation as a short-term strategy to address the increase in prices of food items in the country. He actually made this statement while speaking to State House correspondents after the last leg of a series of 3 meetings of the Special Presidential Committee on Emergency Food Intervention at the Aso Rock Villa. And according to him, the government is exploring different options to address the food inflation crisis in the country, which currently stands at 33.93% as of December 2023, based on the figures of the National Bureau of Statistics. The minister also affirmed that the government, is ready to take punitive measures against those he called food orders. They're going to do, and this comes on the backdrop of the federal government also releasing 102,000 metric tons of grains to Nigeria. So some have actually said this is a good one, but at the end of the day, these are all temporary measures being put in place. What is the permanent solution to the food inflation Nigerians are currently going through? The protests we saw in Niger State, Kano State, is as the result of food inflation.
I mean, we talk knee-jerk reactions to different things. We're always instead of us to find to preempt the problems and then make sure that we have the solutions to those problems before they arise. Well, we've seen a lot of oftentimes where a new government comes into power and takes over and then tells you, oh, the extent of the damage is far deeper than we expected. We've seen situations like that. Even though the president has said we hustled for the job, we're going to get it right. We're going to get it done and all that, but how far have you gone in getting it done the right way? We've been talking about governance, and the kind of governance Nigeria needs is one that is preemptive and not just knee-jerk reactions all over the place. So hopefully we see a change, but as it seems, it doesn't seem as though it's close by. Anyway, looking at another headline here, foreign airlines in aviation. Foreign airlines fear $200 million loss over Naira depreciation. Foreign airlines fear $200 million loss over aviation. Now we have the IATA, the International Air Transport Association, the Geneva-based trade association representing world airlines, has expressed fears that foreign airlines operating in Nigeria may lose about $200 million to exchange rate depreciation. IATA Regional Vice President for Africa and the Middle East, Kamil Al-Wadji, has said the issue of trapped funds was being exacerbated by the depreciation of the naira, which had dropped significantly against the dollar. He spoke in an interview with CNBC, monitored by newsmen. The IATA VP spoke about the backdrop of the over $700 million foreign airlines ticket revenue, reportedly still trapped in Nigeria. The CBN last week said that it had paid all verifying in the country, still had over $700 million trapped in Nigeria. Meanwhile, we have local travel agents under the aegis of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies. They've asked foreign airlines in the country to release lower fares in their inventory or face severe consequences. Now, this is on the back of the CBN reports of completing payments of foreign airline debts. However, IATA VP had insisted that the CBN needed to complete all outstanding ticket revenue that was trapped in the country. At this point in time, Simeon, we're still seeing a situation where Nigeria is owing foreign airlines a lot of money. If you look at it, it's a lot.
The CBN came out earlier to say they've actually cleared the backlog of the debt owed foreign airlines, and of course the foreign airlines came out and say they deferred on some of the statements of the Nigerian CBN. And now looking at what is happening, the truth is, just as we're talking about the depreciation of the naira, it will actually affect the trap funds of this foreign airlines, because at the end of the day, at the moment these funds were being owed to this foreign airlines, the Nigerian naira had not depreciated
to this
particular level. Now, as at today, naira is about 1,400 and something naira at the parallel market. So when you look at all of this, these foreign airlines are running at a loss at the end of the day, and hence why they've actually they are crying out at the moment, pay us all our backlog, let's count our losses with the depreciation or the devaluation of the naira, and go do our own business. The Nigerian government need to do all it can to ensure that the backlogs are being cleared, not just talk, as we've said in our quotes for today. And talking about the devaluation of the naira, and it seems like no respite for the naira as the exchange rate closes as 1,479 naira at the official market. The naira experienced depreciation against the US dollar across both the official and the black markets as demand pressure continued to weaken Nigeria's currency. This is despite the implementation of various policies by the CBN aimed at ours. And this marks a notable 16 naira 69 kobo drop, or a 4.1% decrease in the local currency compared to the previous closing rate as 1,418 naira 78 kobo, which we saw on Wednesday. And we saw the intraday high recorded at about 1,504 naira to a dollar, while the intraday low was 946 naira 82 kobo to a dollar, representing a widespread of 557 naira 18 kobo to a dollar. So looking at this figure, the Nigerian currency is still struggling to find its footing, despite all the policies being put in place by the CBN to actually help the Nigerian naira.
All right, still on the dollarization, or should I say the fight against the dollar at this point in time, we're seeing the EFCC enforcing laws against dollarization of the economy and naira mutilation. Right, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has set up a task force to enforce extant laws against currency mutilation and dollarization of the economy. Now, this is contained in a statement by the commission posted on its official X account. According to the statement, the anti-graft agency has set up the task force in all its zonal commands as an attempt to protect the economy from abuses, leakages, and distortions, exposing it to instability and disruption. According to that message, it says the EFCC has raised a special task force in all its zonal commands for the enforcement of extant laws against currency mutilation and dollarization of the economy. Now, the task force, inaugurated by the executive chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyede, was raised to protect the economy from abuses, leakages, and distortions, exposing it to instability and disruption. Already, the commission has made some arrests of perpetrators of issuance of invoices in dollars and mutilation of the naira in Lagos and Port Harcourt. Well, at this point in time, Simeon, you know that we have dollarized our economy so bad. I was having a conversation with someone who works within the who works in the ministry. I will not go more than that. So someone who works in the ministry, and I was talking to him about projects, and he said there was a project they were trying to get, and for the guys to help them, to enable them do the projects, to award them the contracts, they wanted the naira, the dollar equivalent of the money. They wanted the dollar equivalent of the money. It was about $15,000. He said he took the naira and then he had to change it and then to change it to dollars.
You won't blame them, because even though that one is kickback, which is totally illegal, that's not something we should condone or celebrate on this platform. But you wouldn't blame people who want to operate with the dollar, because we've seen the naira slowly losing its value in a way.
It's because we have situations like this where individuals feel like, oh, the naira is being too porous. Okay, let's trade in naira and dollars. That is what is causing it to depreciate to this level. If we're having individuals who say, you know what, just give me the naira, let's have more naira, let's have more, let's give the dollar as much respect as it deserves, in the sense of it, right? And then focus more on our own currency. Maybe we might be seeing an Ashton money in dollars. They went to a restaurant, the tip he gave was in dollars.
The truth is, a lot of people in the country now operate, in a dollar economy.
You go for weddings and they're spraying you dollars instead of naira.
Some will even tell you, please spray in dollar, go and convert the naira to dollar, because they know that over time it appreciates in value.
Definitely.
Rather than the naira. We need to do something, especially even us as Nigerians. So let's not keep sending the naira to the abyss, because at the end of the day, I would just hope that it doesn't seem like the case of this country. I think it is Venezuela. Where their currency is, people now use it. It's now like paper. It's not like trash. People don't even use it anymore. You get, people now throw it. You walk on the street of the country and you see the money, bags of their currency on the floor. I'm not saying that people don't even take it. They don't even use it anymore. They're now using the American dollar in their country. So that's how much it has gotten bad, in
Venezuela,
in certain countries.
So we should do more to ensure that our naira doesn't get to that level. Still on the headlines, we have inflation, rice, noodles, garri prices double, leaving millions struggling to eat. Rice, noodles, garri prices double, while leaving millions struggling to eat. Due to the lingering inflation, the cost of buying staple food in Nigeria has surged, hitting 100% compared to what it was the previous year, a recent market survey by Business Day has shown. Now, in the past 9 months, the prices of major staples such as rice, noodles, spaghetti, and even garri have reached an all-time high as inflation ravages the very fabric of the economy. Now, this sharp increase in the prices of food items and other daily household consumables has worsened the living condition of many Nigerians and left them groaning in hunger. According to the survey carried out at Ikotu Market, Lagos, the prices of almost all food items have increased significantly compared to what was obtained last May.
Okay, moving on. Okay.
Now, according to the survey, a bag of rice, which was unarguably the commonest staple among Nigerian households, it now sells 65,000 to 68,000, as against what it was in May, 33,000 to 35,000 naira. VOP, we did our own survey and we went around to ask market people what some of these staple foods are selling at the market, and here's what they had to say.
So rice was 45,000, now it was 65, 70,000. 1 mud of rice is 2,025, foreign rice 25, Nigerian rice is 2,000 naira. Gari 45,000, white gari.
Egg 25, but now they buy and 32.
Deal of egusi na 2,300. Akpu wey they give us 14, 1,000 now, na 13, 12, 9 they give us. Beans income 1,500 for 1 mudu of beans now spaghetti is 13,500.
Before this stuff is 700. Now we are buying inside market 1,500.
The basket for tomato we buy before. We buy 4,000, 6,000. Now we buy basket for bag for pepper 60,000, 55,000. Tomato we buy basket now 25. But about the onions, it's just season. But now no be season of onions.
I dey buy ugu for 3,000 naira, but now na 10,000. Buy me 10,000 naira.
Goat meat for kilo 4,000.
I thought fish. We dey buy 30,000. You are selling it 18, 15. If not, our money no go come out.
Okay, listening to this market survey, Gessi, it is really shocking. Some of them said they used to buy a basket of pepper for 4,000 naira, 6,000 naira, and now they buy it for 55,000 naira. Did you see the percentage of increment in some of these commodities?
Over 100.
Over. That's over 500.
300.
That's about over. No, it's about 700% increment, going from 6,000 to about 55,000.
55,000. It's absolutely ridiculous. We're seeing carton of noodles selling at 3,200 last year, has doubled to 6,800. The other day, I walked into Gariki Market and my mom called me, "Oh, get noodles for us on your way home." 4,000 now. When the woman told me the price, I was like, "Huh? For noodles?"
For Indomie.
Are you kidding me? Spaghetti was selling at 9,000, is now selling at 15,000 naira. You have a long slate of Titus now selling at 105,000 naira as opposed to 78,000 naira that it sold at last year. You have a square carton of Titus sold at 38,000 naira, and the previous, for now rather, it's selling at 78,000, while before it was sold at 38,000 naira. At this point in time, the instability in the prices of goods, it will make businesses to close up. You have a lot of individuals lamenting the frequent hike in cost of production, cost of food items and all that. If you go to the market today, the prices you meet today will definitely be different from what you will see tomorrow. Even though we've seen calls for the federal government to set some of these prices, set them down, we don't know how much good effect it would have on the rise in inflation that we're seeing in the country at the moment.
Really pathetic. It's really sad when I hear stories like this. I ask myself, what is the average man feeding on? You and I can actually afford maybe a 2 square meal, or maybe stretch ourselves to afford 3 square meal. What happens to the beggar on the road who barely has 100 naira at the end of the day? It's really sad. There's something ought to be done about that. Let's move on and talk about the customs right now.
Customs ready to streamline cargo clearance with time release study initiative. This is according to Customs CG. Customs ready to streamline cargo clearance with time release study initiative. Wale Adeni, the Comptroller General of Customs, has stated that the service is prepared to execute the time release study to streamline cargo clearance and enhance trade in Nigeria. Adeni revealed this at the launch of the World Customs Organization assisted time release study in Lagos on Thursday. He explained that the TRS is globally acknowledged tool devised by the World Customs Organization to facilitate the clearance process of goods from arrival until their physical release. Adeni mentioned that in 2010, the Nigerian Customs Service underwent an extensive TRS facilitated by the U.S. Aid Markets Project, concentrating on the Apapa port and Seme border. He noted that approximately 20 overarching recommendations emerged, encompassing initiatives such as establishing an authorized economic operator program, introducing a single window system, procuring extra cargo handling equipment, and undertaking infrastructure repairs at the ports, amongst others. Now, basically, the progress that that customs is trying to make at this point is one that you have transportation systems. They've already incorporated that. They've already adopted those systems into how they run their businesses. You see a situation where you send a good from Lagos and you can track it. You can track it up until it's released to you in your home. So yes, it's a really, really funny situation that we're in, that customs is finally ready to upgrade the way they do their business. They are finally ready to embrace technology at this point in time. It's really important that individuals are able to track the movement of their goods from getting to the border, from getting to customs, how it's moved upon its final physical release into the client's hand. It's really a good innovation at this point.
Really amazing, and of course, thumbs up to the Comptroller General Adewale Adeni for this particular one. We love how they are digitizing the process, across board, not just in the customs. And now let's move on to the oil and gas sector, and let's talk about Total Energies that is set to sell its Nigerian onshore oil business after Shell's exit. The Total Energies has stated plans to offload its minority stake in a significant Nigerian onshore oil joint venture, a move following Shell's recent divestment. The CEO, Patrick Poyani, stated this during a presentation of the company's financial results. According to him, the company is looking to restructure its portfolio since producing oil in the Niger Delta has become difficult. And he actually said, they want to divest their share of the SPDC, and they are looking to reshape the portfolio basically. And looking at that, he also stated that the company intends to retain its Nigerian gas assets, considering them essential for the company's future expansion in liquefied natural gas development over the upcoming years. And Shell itself, that's the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, in which Total Energies hold about 10% interest, has struggled with numerous onshore oil spills stemming from theft, sabotage, operational challenges resulting in expensive repairs and notable legal battles over the years. And this has actually made them start considering selling off their onshore oil business, just as Shell has also done theirs. Now they want to move and divest into gas, because lately we've seen this administration invest a lot in liquefied natural gas. We've seen the president talk about the LNG for a while now, and they want to do that, divest to that rather than oil, because of all the challenges they faced in the past years working in this state where they are currently producing oil.
All right, moving on to another headline this morning. We're seeing the federal government inviting labor unions for talks over strike threats. Federal government invites labor unions for talks over strike threats. The federal government on Thursday invited the NLC and the TUC for dialogue over the threats to embark on a strike. Now recall that organized labor had threatened to embark on another strike over what they described as government's refusal to fulfill the agreements they entered with the labor unions. But Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, in his reaction to the threats, said government is ready for a roundtable discussion so as to arrive at an amicable resolution to any of the differences. Well, let's just see how that will play out, whether it's a case of a toothless dog barking and hoping to bite you with its gum. Let's see how that plays out. Another headline.
Let's talk about Gombe State, as it seems like, the economic Gombe State is doing so well when it comes to its socio-economic performance index. And according to recent data and reports, Gombe State government has now been rated the best in the socio-economic performance index among the 36 states and the FCT. And, a statement by Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya spokesman Ismaila Uba Misili said the state secured the position with a PSPI score of 0.80, ranking first with an AAA rating indicating an excellent performance. And according to him, Gombe is followed by Jigawa State, and then Ekiti follows in number 3. And then FCT as well, number 4 position. Now, looking at this, this statement is basically contained in the 2023 National Assessment Report by PCL State Performance Index, an independent organization which provides insight into the socio-economic performance and risk profiles of Nigeria State. So Gombe State has now been rated high as the most, with the high in most of the socio-economic parameters that were considered. And what the parameters considered were economic potentials, socio-economic performance, the risk management, and all of that. And it's a great one to see that, Gombe State is now standing out as a top performing state within the northeastern region, despite facing a lot of insurgency attacks and insecurity happening in that particular state. It's really shocking to see Gombe State rated as number 1 when it comes to socio-economic performance index in the country.
Oh, well,
defeating the likes of Lagos.
Exactly. I hope this sounds as a wake-up call to the governors to do more for their citizens at this point. Well, still on business news, we have the Delta State government allocating 15.7 billion naira for phase 3 flood control projects in Warri and environs. We have the Delta government allocating 15.7 billion for phase 3 flood control projects in Warri and environs. Now, we have the Delta government has announced that the allocation of 15.7 billion naira for the implementation of phase 3 flood control initiative in Warri, Efrun and surrounding areas within the Warri South and Uvie local government areas. Now, Mr. Ifeanyi Osuoza, the Commissioner for Information, revealed this to newsmen, noting that the decision was made during the State Executive Council ESCO's meeting held at the Government House in Asaba and chaired by Governor Sheriff Oberevori. Additionally, Osuoza mentioned that the meeting sanctioned the provision of 600 million naira as counterpart funding for sustainable development goals conditional grant scheme in the state. Now, he said, and I quote, "We had a very engaging session at today's ESCOs. The EXCOs took note of the hardship that Nigerians and the people of Delta are going through. The governor has resolved to make sure that he does everything humanly possible to put smiles on the faces of the people. One of the major projects approved today is the flood control measure in Warri, Efrun and environs. Phase 3. Phase 1 and 2 were awarded long ago, while Phase 3 entails Airport Road, Ubori Koko, Bendel Estate and Uborike in Uye and Warri South at the cost of 15.7 billion naira. Now, you have to recall that Godwin, the DG of Warri, Uye and Environs Development Agency, announced that Phase 1 of the flood control project had been finalized, with Phase 2 reaching 85% completion. We were talking earlier on Front Page Review. By the way, if you do not join the Front Page Review, I don't know what you're doing. You have to join us at 7:15 because we have such a hearty conversation. We have Rufai joining us at 7:30, and we also have a guest analyst, Mr. Larry Oguego, joining us as well to do justice to some of the headlines. So you might want to stick around for that. Anyway, The point is, during the front page review, we're talking about flooding and just how we've entered another year, and this is a Hamatan, but very soon we'll be crossing over to the raining seasons. What has the government done in ensuring that some of the problems that we face? Simeon, you remember last 2 years? Was it not last 2 years that the entire Kogi Lokoja road was blocked? Completely blocked. We had fuel scarcity because tankers could not cross all the way from that area into the north. We had people that were stuck on the road for weeks because of this issue.
And
what
that
has
was
the
what even
government done?
caused, the queues and the scarcity of fuel that happened
At the time.
and I know it happened between September and November of 2022. It wasn't even Kogi alone that was affected. We had the likes of Bielsa warehouses were being swept away as the result of the flood. It's a good one, that Governor Bori Bori is doing all he can. Circular region, the South states. That's talking about Delta, talking about Bielsa state, even part of River State and Akwa Ibom state as well. Looking at the figures, that has been earmarked for this, 15.7 billion naira, not million. We just hope that at the end of the day, we don't hear stories. This money's earmarked are being used for what it was meant for, not someone diverting it to, or for something else.
For stomach infrastructure, or keeping it to share on their birthdays. Because the way some of our politicians behave, you'll be wondering, are these people normal? Are they okay? Because why would you keep things that were supposed to be shared to Nigerians? You kept it and said you wanted to share for your birthday celebration.
Anyway,
my auntie, my uncle, you're doing well, sir. You're doing well, ma. We just have to greet our politicians every once in a while, because if people are really doing well, the level of ingenuity that comes into some of the ideas is crazy.
We as Nigerians lack accountability.